What's up everyone and welcome to the club. In today's video, we're creating a sketch illustration of Knuckles from Sonic 2. Let's begin today's lesson by building out the basic shapes of our drawing. We'll move to a side grip using the flat edge of our pencil. Let's start from the very top and sketch out a circle. Starting up here, just going to lightly work our way around the left side. And just bring that in towards the center. And we'll go all the way around the right side of our circle. Now from here we're going to add some guidelines inside that circle. Starting from the very top, sketch a line coming down towards the bottom. And then we'll add another guideline going across from left to right. Let's start in the center of our circle, extend this out, and then towards the right. Now I want to rotate the head over towards the left. So we're going to add a curve along the center of the head, starting from the very top, curve this out, and then pull that back in towards the center along the bottom. Now you want to add another curve along the bottom of our circle for the top edge of the muzzle. Let's start from the left side. Just going to curve this down, in towards that center line, and we'll just bend that back up towards the right side of our circle. And then from here we're going to place the muzzle along the bottom. Starting along the left side of this line, just going to bump this out, round out the bottom, and just pull that up towards the right side. And then we'll add that center seam across the center of the muzzle. So let's take this line coming all the way down. Just going to bend this out and then back in towards the bottom. Now with our guidelines in place, we're going to add in the eyes. From the bottom of the center seam, we step over towards the left, curve the eye going up, and then bending that out. And then going back to that center seam, let's move over towards the right, curve this up, and out towards the center of our circle. Let's round out the right side of the eye. From the top, coming around, and then back in towards the top of the muzzle. Let's shift the left eye towards the inside. So starting along the top of the eyelid, we're going to draw a half oval. Coming down, and then bending that back up. Let's go to the center of the right eye. Coming down towards the bottom of the oval, and then bending that back up towards the top. Let's place the nose along that center seam. So right here we're going to sketch in an oval, going all the way around, and back up towards the top. Let's add the mouth along the bottom. From the left side of the nose, we'll step over, so we curve the mouth, coming down, and we'll just bend that up. Now that we've drawn in the face, let's add those spikes along the right side. Starting from the top corner of the muzzle, just going to curve this around, come down, and then bend that in. I just want to taper this back up towards the top. So we go wider along the side, and just pull that in towards that center line. Let's add a spike on the left side in behind the head. So we're going to go all the way over towards the left side of this line. It's going to come down, and then just bend that in towards the same height, and we'll taper that back up underneath the chin. Now going back to the right side, we're going to add another spike. From here, step up, curve this out, come down, and then bend that in. Just going to bring that down a little bit lower, and then taper that back up, and just tuck that in behind that front spike. Let's add another spike. We're going to step up, curve this out, come around, and then down to right about there. And then again, just pulling that up and in behind. Now with the last spike, we want to extend the top of the head. So let's start over on the left side. Just going to curve this up a little bit higher in the middle. Go all the way around towards the back, and then bend that down. And then we'll pull this up and in behind. Now with the head in place, we're going to add the center spine of the body. Starting over on the right side, just underneath the chin, just going to curve the body going out, and then bend that down towards the bottom of our page. From the top of the spine, let's move over towards the left, draw the side of the body, going out, and then we'll follow that down towards the bottom. Now going back to the top of the spine, we're going to move over towards the right and sketch a circle for the shoulder, going across on top of those spikes. And then from the right side of that circle, we're going to curve the back, going in, and then bending that down. Let's go to the inside of the circle, curve the arm coming down, and then across the body. Let's go to the outside and do the same thing. Just following that same curve, coming down, and then across. Let's add that patch across the top of the body, starting from the left side. Just going to curve this down, and then bend that back up towards the head. Go back to the top left. Just going to go a little bit higher in the middle, and then taper that out to a point on the right side. Now from here, we're going to fold the left arm on top of the right arm. Starting from the top of the body, just going to curve the arm going out, and bending that down towards the elbow. From the elbow, we're going to curve the arm coming down and in, and then we'll sketch a large circle to define the size of the hand. Now I want to tuck the cuff in behind the hand. Starting from the very top, I'm going to curve this around, come down, and then in towards the side of that circle. Let's draw an angled line going across the top of the hand, starting from the bottom, going up and out towards the right. And then we'll separate out the fingers. Starting from the center of that line, angle this down towards the bottom, move over towards the side, and add 2 more lines. Let's wrap the thumb around the hand, starting from the top, going all the way around, and then just tucking that in towards the side. Let's go back to the bottom of the right arm, sketch another circle for the hand, going all the way around, and then back up. And then we'll roughly block in those 2 spikes along the back of each hand. Let's start from the bottom, start with a straight line coming down, and then from the ends, we're going to go out towards a point. Let's go down to the bottom, just angle this down towards the bottom right, and then pull this down towards a point. Let's add those 2 spikes on top of the left hand. Starting from the outside, I'm just going to start with a curve, going down and out. Connect the ends with a point, going out and then back in. Let's add 1 more along the top, starting with the base with a curve, and pull this up towards a point. Once we've established the basic shape of our drawing, we're going to go back and lightly erase some of these guidelines. Once we're happy with the general proportions of our drawing, we're going to go back in with the tip of our pencil and start adding some details. Let's start with the inside of the left eye, starting from the bottom. Just going to refine the shape as we go. Just adding a little fur texture along the bottom edge, along the brow. Just pulling that up in the middle. And just continue over towards the right. I'm just going to trace the outside of the iris. Add a small highlight oval along the top. And trace the iris along the inside for the pupil, going underneath that highlight. Let's darken up the center of the pupil, and then we'll just fade that out as we go up towards the top. Let's lightly shade in the outside of the iris. Now with the side edge of our pencil, we're going to add a light shadow across the top of the eyes. And then we'll fade that down. Now moving down, we're just going to add some shape and detail to the nose. And we'll darken up the bottom. And we'll fade that up. We're just going to add a highlight along the top of the nose. Go back to the top, shade this in, and then fade that down towards that highlight. Now using these short lines, we're going to add some fur texture along the outside of the muzzle. Just coming down and in towards the chin. And we'll lightly trace out the mouth. And then we'll darken up the corner of the mouth. Let's add a light shade to the muzzle. Starting from the top, working our way down. And then we'll darken up that shadow along the bottom, and then fade that up towards the mouth. Adding a little bit of shadow above the mouth, going up towards the nose. And then with the tip of our pencil, we're just going to add some texture of that fur along the top edge of the mouth. And we're just pulling this in towards the nose. And then lightly go across the inside of the muzzle. Now from here, we're just going to use the side edge of our pencil and add some texture and shadows across those spikes. Just working our way down. Just pull these shadow lines and textures going back up. And then we'll lightly shade that in. Let's add in the second layer, starting off dark along the inside, and then going a little bit lighter along the outside. Now I'm just going to go back to the left side, just work in that detail going across the top of the head. bring that across towards the right. We're going to go back to that center seam, just redefine that edge, and then just pull that fur texture across, just following that same curve. And we go back and redefine that fur texture and add some shadows. Starting with the top of the brow. And we'll just darken up the center of the head, just making a little bit of a highlight along the top edge. And just fade that out as we go towards the right side. I'm just going to do one more pass to darken up the contrast. Now from here we're going to move down and start adding some detail and shape to the hands. Starting with that center seam in between the fingers. And just round out the tip of the knuckle. I'm just going to darken up that area underneath the head, coming down towards that trim. So adding that fur texture at the same time. And we'll darken up the back side. We'll just go across the bottom. I'm just shading the inside of the body and the arms. I'm going to go back and just darken up the shadows. Now adding some detail to the right arm, starting with the cuff. And we'll overlay these spikes on top of the hand. And I want to add a light shade to the inside of the hands. And this will help remove some of those guidelines. And now we're going to add a shadow across the bottom of the hands. So the light's coming from the top across the body. Just casting that shadow across the bottom. And then the top hand is going to cast a shadow across the right hand. Now from here we're going to move back to the tip of our pencil and just refine the texture inside the head. Starting in between the brow. And extend that fur texture along the outside perimeter of the head. want to repeat that same process across the body. Just adding the texture with the tip of our pencil. Just adding some light texture along the inside of the white areas. And as we get closer to the end of our drawing, we'll tighten up our shadows and add a little bit more fur texture, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of Knuckles. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, please make sure you subscribe because I'm posting new lessons every single day. You can also share your art with me for a chance to be featured in our artist spotlight. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.